Hey, what is going on, guys? In this video today, we're going to be going over the current top 10 competitive console Fortnite players. I feel like this will be a cool video because almost all of these players are much less well known than the top controller on PC guys, so with competitive console Fortnite really starting to grow more and more, this can give you a good idea of the best players to watch. Also, this list is only going to contain players that are console mains. You won't see anybody who only plays like one console tournament and then immediately went back to PC. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so the first console player coming in at number 10 is a popular one to say the least, Byzic. When it comes to competitive console players, he's easily one of the 2 to 3 most recognizable names, and that's for good reason. Back during the winter and spring when console was still brand new, there was a period of time where a lot of people considered Byzic the best console player on the planet. And even though other players have definitely performed better recently, he's still been very successful. In the Trios FNCS, his trio finished 6th, he finished 17th in the Duos FNCS as well, and Byzic has also had a lot of top 10 to 20 placements in platform cash cups over the past couple of months also. So maybe not quite as dominant as he once was, but I still definitely think he deserves to be on the list. Coming in at the number 9 spot, we have another one of the more well-known console players, 60, or as it used to be known, 60 FPS with a Dream. His story is actually very similar to Byzic. He was absolutely dominant when console was first given platform-specific tournaments and cash cups. He won a ton of money across multiple different events, and he was pretty consensusly considered the best console player in the game for at least a couple of months. But then at one point he made the somewhat questionable decision to switch over to PC, and even though he did have a decent amount of success there, he's now back on console full time pretty much. He's had a couple really solid placements recently, finishing 3rd in the Trios FNCS and 20th in the Duos FNCS, plus he's had a couple nice cash cup placements on top of that. Moving on to number 8 on our list, we have Shxn, which is spelled Shxn. So he's a player that doesn't have any top 3 placements in the 3 recent console FNCSs, but his consistency has just been top tier. His trio placed 5th in the Trios FNCS, his duo placed 29th in that FNCS, which is definitely his least impressive performance, and then he placed 8th in the solo FNCS. And as if that wasn't impressive enough, he's also had 2 top 5 placements in platform cash cups in just the last month and a half or so. So definitely a player that has a long track record of success in pretty much every game mode possible, and you can't really ask for much more than that. Next up on our list, we have our first EU player, and that's Knifer. So Knifer's level of dominance in EU has actually been pretty insane recently in team game mode specifically. His trio placed 2nd in the Trios FNCS, he placed 6th in the Duos FNCS, and 28th in the Solos FNCS. And as if that wasn't enough, in July he actually won 4 daily trio cash cups in a row, which is just unheard of on a main region like EU. The only reason he isn't any higher than 8 is because his success in solo events has been a bit underwhelming compared to most other players on the list. He does have a few solid placements here and there, don't get me wrong, but his level of consistency is nowhere near what he's been able to do on team modes. At the number 6 spot, we have Astonish, and he's a really tough player to rank because he pretty much plays PC and console equally. I believe he played all the FNCSs and major tournaments on console, but then he plays things like cash cups and smaller events on PC. But despite that, I couldn't leave him off the list because he's had so much success. He placed 22nd in the Trios FNCS, 8th in the Duos FNCS, and then 3rd in the Solos FNCS. The Trios placement was a tad bit disappointing, don't get me wrong, but top 8 placements in both Duos and Solos clearly puts him in contention for best player on console. And he actually has the 3rd highest earnings of all time on console, so you just can't leave him off the list. Now we're on to the top 5, and at number 5 we have Jayz with a Z. At this point in the video, pretty much everybody from here on out is going to have insane placement in all 3 of the recent FNCSs, and Jayz is no exception at all. He placed 5th in the Trios FNCS, 7th in the Duos FNCS, and 30th in the Solos FNCS, and that's actually insane because out of 100 players, 30th definitely isn't terrible either. His performance in solo cash cups hasn't been incredible, but he has placed top 10 and made money a few different times, so it's definitely better than a decent amount of players on this list as well. Number 4 on the list of best console players is Jayz with an S. Yes, this is a totally different person than Jayz with a Z, and as if that wasn't confusing enough already, they actually play a lot of tournaments together. So Jayz is another player with just incredibly consistent FNCS performances. He placed 2nd in the Trios FNCS, 4th in the Duos FNCS, and then 23rd in the Solos FNCS. He's also had a good amount of Cash Cup success as well. He won a 2-round Cash Cup back in June for $2,500, and he's also had a couple top 10 to 15 placements since then. As we move our way into the top 3, the bronze medalist for best console Fortnite player is Scar. He placed 5th in the Trios FNCS, 1st in the Duos FNCS, and then still a very respectable 17th in the Solos FNCS. So again, very consistent placements all across the board, and this is actually our first player on the entire list who's actually won an FNCS Grand Finals. Much like a lot of other players, he hasn't had a ton of success in Cash Cups, but he's just been ridiculously consistent in all 3 of the FNCSs, and at the end of the day, that's way more important than any Cash Cup. At the runner-up number 2 spot, we have Nut or Nutify. I believe this is one of 2 players on the entire list that was mainly controller on PC early in their career, but then about a year ago, he switched to mainly playing console, and to say that was a good choice is a pretty major understatement. Nut was on the trio that won Trios FNCS, he placed 6th in Duos FNCS, and he placed 4th in Solos FNCS. That level of consistency in FNCS is literally insane and pretty much unheard of, and nobody else on this list can match it. He's also recently been one of the better Cash Cup players on console as well. In just the month of October alone, he had 2 top 3 finishes, so I think he definitely has an argument for number 1, but number 2 is not shabby at all. And finally, the person taking the crown for best console Fortnite player in the world is TK. He placed 2nd in the Trios FNCS a week ago, 9th in the Duos FNCS back in April, and then 9th in the Solos FNCS, which happened in August. So no first place finishes, unfortunately, but getting top 10 in the 3 most recent FNCSs, which also happen to be 3 different game modes, is pretty insane. But what really sets TK apart from the other players with insane FNCS placements is that he also probably holds the title of best console Cash Cup player as well. In just the last 4 months, he's finished 1st in 6 different platform Cash Cups, and I mean, that's just insane. Like, the majority of the top 10 players have never won a Cash Cup, and then this guy won 6 in just the last couple of months. So no matter what criteria you're looking at, TK is simply the best console Fortnite player in the world. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you watched the entire thing, be sure to let me know with a comment down in the comment section below. What do you think about my list? Am I missing anybody? And who do you personally think is the best console Fortnite player in the world? Be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, do whatever the heck you want, and I will catch you guys next time.